I was thinking last night, just before I went to go and sleep, was I starting over or was I running away? And I remembered I was about 10, and whenever I had a fight with my mom or my brothers or sisters, not sure what the conflict was at the time. I remember the one time packing my case, this little brown suitcase, and I walked up Haslam Road and I got up to the first hill. I decided, I don't think this is a good idea, and I ran back home again. But it's amazing how that actually became a thing for me through my life. I would run away all the time. If something was hard, if I wasn't happy, I would, it's like I said, love it or leave it. And that was my motto. So when I was 17, I moved to Pretoria. I was working at the Union Buildings, and I had met a guy, and his name was Dion. I'll tell you about that in another story. And he unfortunately died on New Year's Day. But because of that, it started me thinking about life and how important it was. And it was absolutely devastating. So at that time, amazingly, I found out my cousin was living across the park from me. And so she invited me to Bible talk, and I became a disciple. And for about a year or two, I was on this mission. All I wanted to do was help save souls. But working in restaurants, I realized it was very worldly and I didn't want the responsibility. So I ran away. I got home that afternoon. I was living in a flat with three friends, and I packed my bags. I didn't even tell them I was leaving because I didn't want them to change my mind. If I had my mind set on something, I wasn't going to let anybody stop me. So I got to the airport and there were no planes. So I had to sit at the airport all night waiting for a plane the next morning. And I went back to Durban. I was about 21, 22 at the time. Then a few years later, I had been partying and drinking and decided to go back to church. So I ran back again in 1997. And I was probably around for about 3 years, but then I ended up working in restaurants again. Because it's so worldly, I didn't want the responsibility again, and I just went off the rails. So I then decided to move from Cape Town, from Pretoria to Cape Town. I drove through the night. I don't know how many Red Bulls I drank that night. So, like I said, when I run fast, and nothing stops me. And then I remember in 2015, I decided to run back to God. And but during that time, I had started over hundreds of times. I'm human. I make so many mistakes. But yet, the one thing I always taught myself was, okay, on Monday, it's a brand new month, a brand new week. Let's start again. So if I had not lost weight or if I hadn't eaten right, I would start again. So as you know from my first video, I turned 55 on the 10th of April, and I have decided to start my New Year's. But yes, it was supposed to have started last week, but now it's starting tomorrow. So like I said, don't don't wait till the end of the month. Start now. It doesn't matter if it's today, the next hour. Don't hesitate, because if you keep saying I'm going to start over, you actually don't get there. And I'm a procrastinator, so trust me, sometimes it'll take months and years, and then I realize I never got there. So this actually brings me to the story of Jonah and the Bible, and he also used to run away from God, and I loved it because he's I relate to him. He's my kind of guy. And I was reading. It says, "The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai. Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me." But Jonah ran away from the Lord, and he headed for Tarshish. He went down to Joppa, where he found a ship bound for that port. After paying the fare, he went aboard and sailed for Tarshish to flee from the Lord. And this is the story of my life. So I loved it when I heard this. But the most amazing thing I think I've realized is, no matter how many mistakes you make, you can correct them and you can come back. So this is going to be my journey. You'll see my heading's going to be running away, but it's actually about starting over. And I hope that you will join me on my journey and like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and I will keep you on your toes. And I hope you have a fantastic week.